Okay, morning everybody, morning and welcome once again to Perkins Online. Well, the murder and the mayhem and the discontent continues. I gather that 5 men were shot somewhere in St. Catherine, in Bogwalk, St. Catherine this morning. 5 persons dead one time. I thought we were getting crime under control. I thought that the police were putting into effect, plans and procedures that were having the effect of bringing down crime and in fact lowered the murder rate, somewhere in the vicinity of 20% last year. How has that trend? If in fact the 20% reduction was a result of new techniques and new plans and procedures put into effect by the police last year, then what is it that has happened to those plans and procedures and whatever, all of a sudden, come January? Huh? I don't know if this rate of murder continues and continues to grow out of control. Where are we going to be by the end of this year? In the meantime, there's been a lot of concern over a high rate of policemen being shot. I think there are about 5 murdered since the beginning of the year. 5 policemen murdered since the beginning of the year. Has anybody kept track of the number of persons shot by the police since the beginning of the year? Because they seem to be going on quite well. There was one shooting of a young man on Red Hills Road yesterday. Yes, and there were 4 in Montego Bay last week. Almost every time the police shoot somebody, there's a protest. People in the area disagree with the police version of what happened. Of course, it's going to be said that the police were upholding law, and the people who are disagreeing with the police are lawless, or they're concerned about their own and not concerned with truth and justice. Every time the police version is that they saw these men behaving suspiciously. They confronted them, not confronted, no, that's a strong word. There's another word that they use. I can't slip me at the moment. But it's the same word every time. It's like a recitation, you see. And the men pulled firearms and opened fire on them. They returned the fire. And sometimes, curiously, it's one man with either a homemade shotgun or a 38 revolver or something like this. And on the other hand, there's a carload or 2 of policemen with M16s and whatever else. And these men fire at the police without hitting a policeman. The police fire back, and of course the man runs. But a search of the area later on reveals him suffering from gunshot wounds. Right? Now, in the environment in which we live, it can never, the possibility of the police being fired on, unlikely as it may seem, this man having a gun, because I tell you something, that man with the 38 or the homemade shotgun believes that if the police catch him with it, if he surrenders to the police and to be searched, we're going to hear the same story. He believes that. So he could as well take his life into his hands and fire and try to escape. But let us suppose that the police are right in some number of occasions. We don't know which occasions. And we should. And the only way for that to be done is to take the investigation out of the hands of the police, where the police are involved in a shooting, and put it into the hands of an independent body, well equipped, with all that it needs to carry out that thorough investigation of these matters, so as to be in a position to ensure the public of Jamaica, not just the public in the area where the man was from and where he was shot, but to ensure the public of Jamaica that justice was done. That this was not a trumped-up shooting. And that the gun that was found was not a sweetie, or they used to have another name for it, a throwdown. Yes, not a throwdown. Because it is known. It is known. I have personally been told by police of the police carrying around guns, which they throw down when they say that the man fired at them and they shot him. They have a gun, they throw it down there. Right? And sometimes it happens that 5 men shoot at them. The men run, they shoot 2, but they don't find a gun. Maybe the throwdown was thrown down somewhere else. But we cannot continue to operate on this basis in the country and expect to be able to deal effectively with the problem of crime if people are going to be made to feel that whenever the police wish they can shoot them and get away with it. Right? It cannot work. It's not working. It will never work because it cannot work. People are not going to accept that. What needs to happen is that an independent, a thoroughly independent, well-equipped authority needs to be set up to carry out these investigations. Right? When the police shoot somebody, their job should be to encircle the crime scene or the scene of it. Make sure, put up the tapes, get in touch immediately with this investigative unit, and they should have the means of dispatching quickly to the scene, whether by helicopter or whatever. to dispatch to the scene the persons to undertake that investigation. It is not going to work otherwise, because people do not have confidence in the police. Right? They don't have confidence in the police. And that confidence cannot be rebuilt on the basis that the policeman can shoot somebody and himself carry out the investigation. Right? It cannot work. You know, the tendency of police to disregard the law is well established in Jamaica. I had myself a personal experience of it yesterday afternoon. We left here after the program. Got out onto, what's the name of the road? Road right in front of the station here. And turned down towards Balmoral. Right? Bradley, the road onto which the station, the premises here opens, is a one-way. So we had to turn down to go on to Balmoral. When we got down to the intersection, it was blocked. There was a huge wrecker taking up about half the width of Bradley Avenue, right on the intersection. It was picking up a motor car. Okay, hold on just a moment. We'll come back to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Yes, I was telling you about this incident yesterday afternoon. The half of the intersection of Bradley Avenue and Balmoral Avenue taken up by a wrecker. The other half, well, at the other end, or the other end of the intersection, taking up a quite considerable portion of the half that was left, leaving maybe 4 or 5 feet between itself and the wrecker, was a police car. So and there were cars flashing past on the outside. If even your car could go through that little hole, it would be a very dangerous thing to do. Right? Because you couldn't see behind the wrecker to see what was coming. And by the time you stuck out your nose, some vehicle might well have been just in time to knock it off. And there were, of course, bigger vehicles behind us in a line that could in no way get through that hole. Now, so I got mad and I, got out and looked for the police to find out what the devil what this was about. And thinking about it, maybe I'm lucky that I didn't end up, having a shootout. Having a shootout with the police, or, I wouldn't end up there, I would end up somewhere else. But the explanation was that I would have had a shootout. Anyway, I spoke to a policewoman who, while I was, expressing concern about this, I spoke to a man the man addressed me. I spoke in his hearing, and he's asked me whether I didn't see, never said him I take up the record, accident and whatever. He turned out later on to have been a policeman in plainclothes, because having spoken to the policewoman, she sent him to move the car. And he moved it, parked it down beyond the intersection. And the traffic behind us, we and they, were able to get out into Balmoral. So why was the police car parked where it was, where it had been? Is it that the police have no regard whatever for the law? And if they have no regard for the law in relation to that, to a matter like that, is it surprising that they have no regard for the law in relation to other matters? Look here, this country is in a colossal mess. How it is going to get out of it, God alone knows. The matter of Mr. Samuda's censure came before the, what's it called, the Privileges Committee of Parliament yesterday. And apparently, they were to consider what sanctions were to be imposed on Mr. Samuda for having said that a report had been sent to the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, Mr. Patterson, from the committee that he had set up to investigate the scandal, the scandals, White House scandal, right? Mr. Golding, apparently, from what we hear, made one of his usual very good speeches, analyzing the situation, and really destroying the case of the majority in Parliament that voted to censure Mr. Samuda. But of course, the majority had to save face. And the Speaker of the House, who was chairman of the committee, proposed that Mr. Samuda be called before the committee to explain his position and to say whether he still believed that the Hilton report had been completed and submitted to the former Prime Minister. Now, I wonder if Mr. Speaker would like to come onto this program to explain to us what would be the relevance of what Mr. Samuda now believes. Right? How does that enter into the picture? If Mr. Samuda did something several months ago worthy of censure, that worthiness of censure would depend upon what he did then. What he thinks now has nothing to do with it. He either did something that deserves censure some months ago, or he did not do something which deserves censure some months ago. Right? What are they trying to do? Save face? Save face? The Prime Minister set up a committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Hilton. Mr. Simula gets hold of a report prepared by Mr. Hilton, which said, I gather from what Mr. Golding told the committee, that it had been submitted to the Prime Minister. It was there in the text that this was prepared to be for submission to the Prime Minister or something like that. Right? On the face of it all, Mr. Simula's conclusions were not unreasonable. So what are they wasting time? You know, given what is happening in Jamaica, one might have expected that the members of Parliament, and especially those in this case on the government side, would have been concerned to be doing something of value to the people of Jamaica. Instead of which they're wasting time. Wasting time trying to work up another a Labour Party, an opposition trafigura. You know, they should be ashamed of themselves. What else is there? The big city cleanup. World Cup cricket is, 31 days away or something like that. And the city of Kingston is in a disgraceful mess. And we have a story on the front page of the Observer this morning. Let me just read from it for you. This is the beginning of it. 10,000 Christians, some armed with machetes, brooms, shovels, and gloves, will descend on Kingston later this month to rid the city of garbage ahead of the March 11th start of Cricket World Cup 2007. Hopefully, putting to rest concerns that the capital will not be ready to host the regional tournament. What a shameful thing. What a damn shame. The city of Kingston is in a mess. The capital of Jamaica. We are participating in a tournament, inviting people from all over the cricketing world to come to Jamaica, hoping thereby to give a boost to our tourism industry. It has been known for months that this was happening. The government was involved in it happening. And the government of Jamaica has not been able to provide the funds needed and whatever else is needed to clean up the garbage around the city. In fact, it is a disgrace that the capital city of Jamaica is in such a condition and represents the absence of respect on the part of the government for the people they are supposed to be serving. And Christians are gathering to clean up the city, to take up the garbage, right? In the hope that it won't be too much of a disgrace when the visitors come here. We take a break, we come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. And another somewhat sad story. Thelma Manley is dead. Lovely woman she was. Very nice person. I don't think we should look upon death as a curse, you know. Death is as natural to man as life. So, one remembers her for what she was. Lovely person, as I say. And hopes that she will find peace where she now is.
Hello?
Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes? Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yes, I was listening to you yesterday, and you were saying that the debt, the Jamaican debt, is somewhere in the region of $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, but you see, when you look at the size of the United States, Monday, the president, he came out with the budget, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was $2.9 trillion.
What, the budget?
The U.S. budget.
Uh-huh. $2.9
Yeah.
trillion.
So I'm saying, look how small Jamaica is, and Jamaica can, have a debt almost the same as the U.S. budget.
No, sir. No. Jamaica has a debt of close to $1 trillion Jamaican dollars. Right?
Oh.
The United States budget. I didn't see the figure, but you're telling me it is $2.9 trillion. That's $2.9 trillion Jamaican dollars. United States dollars, right?
U.S.
Which is virtually 70 times 3 times 2.9 trillion Jamaican dollars.
Yeah, you know.
Uh-huh.
But it's really appalling, though, you know, the state that Mr. Davis, he left Jamaica, in so much debt,
Uh-huh.
And the next thing again, I heard he was talking to.
But so may I just say something?
Yeah.
The debt is one thing, right? If there were signs of the economy growing rapidly and developing, if investments were coming into Jamaica, not just in some little hotel, is one thing to, and I wish that I could find out the basis upon which these hotels are coming in here. Whether the government is guaranteeing, whether the hotels are being built on, or being provided on the basis of a debt that is guaranteed by the government of Jamaica. Right? I don't know.
Okay.
Right? But I'm wondering about it. And I'm wondering, because I'm wondering why it is that these investors would be prepared to come to Jamaica with all the reputation that Jamaica has now. Why is it that these investors are coming here to put up their hotels? Right? When Mr. Booth Stewart, right? One of the best known and most successful hoteliers in Jamaica.
hoteliers, yeah.
told me on this program some years ago, when there was a lot of discussion about the Sandals, what has come to be known as Scandals White House, right? And I was asking him about this, when did he intend to start building this hotel? Because there had been a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
And Mr. Stewart told me quite openly that he had no intention of putting his money into the building of any hotel there, because he knew he would not be making it back.
Yes.
Right? Well, he eventually, his contribution to the building of the hotel was the land on which it was built. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
The money was put up by various government agencies, right?
Okay.
But if Mr. Stewart knows the hotel industry in Jamaica as well as anybody else, and if that was his view of the matter, then why would all these foreign companies,
yeah, come here and build hotels?
Absolutely.
You know, it's strange.
It's strange.
And you know, the next thing now is
but hold on a little bit. I beg your pardon?
Yeah. No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying that the hotel industry in Jamaica is on a very precarious perch, because people don't go out of their way to spend their holidays in crime-ridden societies.
No, they don't.
Right? And the way things are going in Jamaica, and the spectacular outbursts of crime that we have here, I don't know. I'm amazed that we have as many tourists as we do have coming here, right?
Well,
and not only that, here's another thing. I don't think that the tourism industry can, in the long run, be successful in a society with a population that is largely unemployed and living in ghetto areas and deprived of opportunity and so on, right? While you have a few bright spots like Ocherius and Montego Bay and Negril, where there's a lot of tourism-made prosperity. Because what then happens is what has been happening, right? That people flock to those areas to try to get a little something out of what is going on. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're perfectly right.
And it creates problems in those areas. So what you need is a comprehensive development, right? Where people in Bogwalk and Spanish Town and Port Antonio and so on have jobs and prospects, right? They don't have to rush to Ocherius and Montego Bay to make nuisances of themselves, right?
Right.
But that is not what is going on here. Anyway,
yeah, and
let's hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope so. And the next thing for Mr. Perkins, when I heard he was talking to some people the other day about the Happy Grove Road, or it was in such a bad state for so long. Right? It was in a bad state for so long, and yet still that lady, she came on and she acted like the people don't deserve any better. You know, this is what I get all over, right across the board in Jamaica. You know what I mean? The people who supposed to be helping, the people at the top who supposed to be helping the people at the bottom.
It's not, no.
They act like the people
No, hold on a little bit. They're not supposed to be helping the people at the bottom, you know, sir. They are their servants. You know what the word minister means?
Right.
You know what is a minister? Eh?
I mean, explain it to Mr. Perkins so everybody can hear. Explain it to me,
Yes.
Mr. Perkins.
The word minister is a Latin word, originally. A Latin word. You know what it means? A servant.
No, Mr. P, explain it. Servant.
A servant.
As I'm making notes while I'm listening to you.
Eh?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, but I'm making notes while I'm
Yes,
listening to you.
I'm saying to you that the word minister is originally a Latin word. And its meaning is a servant. Okay?
Right.
So
Yes.
our ministers are not our masters. They are or not supposed to be.
Right, they are servants.
They are supposed to be our servants. Right? You wouldn't think so though in
Well,
Jamaica, would you?
Right, the opposite. You know, in Jamaica it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
You know, because
In Jamaica,
right, because that one lady. Go ahead.
yes, in Jamaica, minister means master.
Yeah. You know, it's you know, and you know that one lady, she came on, and I was listening for what she was saying. You know, I was listening to see if she was going to say, well, you know, we'd have the road fixed by month end or the beginning of next month. And so there was nothing like that. She said nothing like that, Mr. Perkins. So no, the people them over there, they don't know when they're going to get a road because no, they're saying that, oh, all we got is $9 million and $9 million cannot fix the road. It needs $31 million. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know what these people think. You know what I mean? They even at one time over at the hospital, at the KTH, you know, when the people were complaining that there was roach there, and the one lady was saying, we're not going so far, we're not roach on the yard. You know, this is the mentality of the PMP, Mr. Perkins. Mm-hmm. This is their mentality.
Well, it's the mentality of the Jamaicans that make it so, you know, so. Because if Jamaicans demanded of their leaders, of their ministers, that the service that they are there to provide, then they would have to behave differently. Okay? Anyway, thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
Yes. Hello, Mr. Perkins. Yes, I'm calling as one of the concerned residents of Happy Grove Garden.
Yes.
Reading.
Uh-huh.
We the residents up here, we have a problem with the road condition.
Uh-huh.
$30 million has been granted to fix a number of roads to which $9 million has been granted to fix the road leading to our community.
Uh-huh.
The problem is that they want to divert the $9 million to fix a road leading to another community to which we the residents...
Yes, so we have been discussing that on this program.
Yeah. So we the residents are disgruntled about the matter.
Uh-huh.
Because we have been living on the road leading to our community for a number of years, and the road is in a deplorable condition. And we want that road to fix now.
Yes.
They want to use the $9 million to fix the road leading to the prominent community to which a group of top hierarchies live. While we, the citizens of Jamaica, and working law-abiding taxpayers who demand equal justice. And we are here now demanding that the money be used to fix our road leading to our community because the road is so bad that not even donkey. I, personally speaking to you, I used 2 weeks carried down a hillside, part of a hillside, to fix part of the road. And I never do that. Nothing could be riding and now. And we just can't take no more of it. Even a section of the road leading up to the Belvedere Road, that road was thick and strong.
Yes.
Tractor dig off the surface of that road, repaving it. And that is total nonsense. That
Yes.
money could be used to fix the road leading to
Well,
Hawaii.
we're talking about it, and we hear that they're thinking of finding the $30 million to fix your road, but I don't understand if they can't find money to tidy up Kingston and take up the garbage with all the people coming to World Cup cricket. I don't know how they're going to find money to fix your road.
Well, they find it to do all the other things.
And it's not likely that any great number of World Cup visitors will be traveling on your road, so.
They have it. They have it for the World Cup and all the other things they want to do with it. And we need our road to be fixed now because I have to drive in my vehicle to do my personal work, and I have to be staying the heart of place just to buy parts to be having my vehicle to do my work. 11 times I have to be going to the hardware. Sorry, the vehicle. Yeah. Oh, I thought it's sorry.
You want to be...
11 times I have to be going at the auto place to buy parts to fix my vehicle. And that is total madness. That is rubbish.
Well, so people should demand that they be able to set that off against their income tax.
We are demanding it now.
And their GCT,
We are demanding the road to be fixed. No, we don't want the $9 million to be used to fix a road that fixed 4 months ago. The fixed 4 months ago is on the 12th patrol in that area, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
12 patrol. You can come and see it for yourself.
Yes.
12 patrols, $9 million. That is crazy. That is madness from the pit of hell. That cannot be.
You mean that's the what's the name of that road?
Yeah, in the Happy Grove Road.
The Happy Grove, no. The Happy Grove Road is the one that you want fixed.
Yes.
The one that they're putting the money onto what's the name of that one?
The road leading to Plantation Heights.
Plantation Heights.
Yes, right.
And you're saying that Plantation Heights Road has only 9 potholes on it?
No, 12 potholes. And it fixed only 4 months ago.
Eh?
And we are demonstrating.
Yes.
We are demonstrating right now because we cannot wait for another 30 more years to wait to get this road fixed. And if it do not fix now, they are going to circumvent us.
Yes, well, I tell you something.
We are demonstrating that if we don't get the road fixed now, it's not going to fix again. And we are going to be continuing marginalized and victimized over the same.
If with the election coming up they don't fix it, then I suspect that should they win again, you will be in a great deal of trouble. We
are waiting on CVM and TVJ to come and see the road that the Jamaican people can know what we are paying our taxes for.
Yes.
You understand? We cannot be paying taxes and be neglected over the years.
But don't think that you're alone in this, So there are people all over Jamaica in as bad or worse condition.
But this is what breeding crime and violence in the country because we are paying our taxes and the money is being used to fix other areas and other things which is not a benefit to the people of Jamaica. Yeah. And even the little spin-off from the road work, the people are anticipating it. Because there is no employment for the people within the area. So this little road work would even boost a little incentive for them. Yeah. You understand? This is what breeding crime and violence.
So the demonstration is going on now?
Yes, presently.
I see.
You understand?
And you're expecting the television cameras there?
Yes. We need them to come because if they do not come, Jamaica not going to know condition we are facing
Yes.
at this moment.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Yes,
Yeah, just a few things. As I start, I must say Happy New Year to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Will you speak up a bit for me?
Okay.
Yes.
Hearing me any better?
Yes, a lot better.
Okay, the Ben Monroe situation. I heard on your program, it seems like the case is...
You're going back again?
I don't know why, because I'm talking in the phone.
Yes.
And
Well, you've gone up now again.
And
So keep it where it is now.
Okay. And he has gotten off the case? The case has concluded, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just remembering that, I went to his office in the 80s. And just as you said, he had a lot of person picture with himself there, included the former Prime Minister Michael Manley, Ronnie Tweets, and several other.
Oh, is that so?
Right, plastered all over his office. So he uses these things to promote himself, and then it's a lot of poor people. He had a place on Lines Road also, and there's one down the boulevard. And he also had some example of some model house.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, pictures of model house that he had created. Being on the road still, right?
Yeah.
I've met persons who was carried down by this man, and up to now they have not, got back their money or anything, but he's set free, and most of them are poor people, because it was a poor person from Jonestown who I went out there to check it. At the time I told the person that they should not put their money in this thing.
You told the person?
Not to put their money, because they wanted a house, one of the scarce benefits. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who put $100,000.
And did the person put their money, or his money?
You see, I'm not sure, and I gave the advice, and I don't remember seeing the person since. Yeah. Alright. So there's a lot of people that are suffering now because they lost their money through the
Absolutely, I'm sure.
Income Foundation. So I'm saying this to ensure that Jamaicans be careful when people come up saying that they want to help the poor.
Yes.
That they don't just jump.
When people come and say they want to help the poor.
Yeah.
I see. I wonder who this is that you have in mind now.
Well, I just remember Ben,
I
and
see.
you can apply to anybody else, because the poor is the word, the use of poor as the main persons, it seems.
You sound as if you should be in the business of cartooning.
Anyway, we'll move on now to somebody, I think it was yesterday, was talking to you about Cayman.
Yes.
Right. And a few days ago, some days ago, you were talking about Bermuda. So I came across the per capita income, right? And per capita income is trying to measure the standard of living.
Yeah, well, the average income.
Right.
You know?
People.
Yes.
In a country, right?
Yes. When you divide the
total
national income by the population, head of the population.
The total income by total population, sorry, the opposite way. Yeah, anyway. I noticed that Cayman, right, when looking at the list of, I think it's 170 odd countries. I don't have the list in front of me now, but Cayman was over $32,000 per capita income, right? Bermuda, which seems to be way ahead of the pack, 76,000. Right?
Yes.
And it seems like they're ahead of everybody else at the top.
Yes,
America,
that's true.
Which is about 41,000. The United States.
Will you hold on for a moment for me? Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Right.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, China per capita income is about 7,000. So China is a growing country.
Yes,
growing
but
rapid.
it has an immense population.
Right, so it is
It's
not
going out of poverty,
but it was behind Jamaica just a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
India is still behind us. I don't remember.
Is it?
Per capita
I rather
income,
doubt
but they're
it.
growing at 7.5%.
Yes. I doubt that India would be behind us now.
Well, the figures that I saw, it was still behind us, but this was the 2005
Uh-huh.
figures, right?
Yes.
Cayman, well, in the English-speaking
Well,
Caribbean.
one of the things that you have to understand about India, sir, India has a population in the vicinity of 1 billion,
Right, about
Right?
1.1
of which a good
billion.
6 or more million people, 6 or more 100 million people, are first world by any standards,
Okay,
right?
right.
Anyway,
English-speaking now, Jamaica,
uh-huh.
right, is down to $4,380.
Yes.
All right, which is the bottom of the Caribbean.
Let me tell you something.
Guyana is 4,600 odd,
Yes.
which was a few years ago. Up to, I think Guyana surpassed us, I think, in 2004.
Is that so?
Right.
I'm not sure. One has to be skeptical of these statistics, you know. One shouldn't just accept them like that.
Okay. So, but what it's showing, though, Mr. Perkins,
Uh-huh.
is that Jamaica is now solidly at the bottom with 80 at a per capita income of 1,700.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Hello?
Yes, I heard you.
Right. So, and it means, when you look at the countries that didn't take independence, like Bermuda and Cayman, the
Yes.
countries that didn't take independence is way ahead.
Yes.
Barbados is about, they got independence like us, is about 17,000. Trinidad is about 14,000
Uh-huh.
a per capita income.
Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you
Okay.
very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello,
Yes?
Mutty.
Yeah, oh, Mr. Chuck.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
Uh-huh.
I heard you this morning in relation to the need for an independent investigative authority
Yes.
to, investigate allegations of police misconduct.
Uh-huh.
I just want to let you know that this is something that the opposition and civil society, especially Jamaicans for Justice
Yes.
and Families Against State Terrorism,
Uh-huh.
and the human rights bodies,
Yes, I know this
have
is
been
nothing
asking
new.
for many, many years.
Yes.
Now, many recommendations, Mutty, have been put forward, including additional investigators to be attached to the PPC. That is the Police Complaints Authority.
Uh-huh.
Police Public Complaints Authority. Now, Mr. Justice Ellis
Yes.
is now chairman of that body.
Yes.
And
I have reason to know, Mr. Justice.
right, and I have spoken to him on many occasions, and one of the problems that he has
Uh-huh.
is that firstly, there are no resources for the few investigators they have, and apparently they have very few investigators,
Yes.
to even get transportation to the scenes of crime.
Yes.
But it gets worse. Once they get there, the police basically just dismiss them as intermeddlers.
Yes.
Now, whether it is an allegations of police, killing or misconduct, the point is that there must be the necessary legislative enforcement that once there's an allegation of police misconduct, that the investigators of the PPCA take over within a matter of hours. But that is not how it is, Mutty.
Well, I should have hoped within a matter of less than hours.
Well, as soon as they can get there.
Yes.
And what usually happens, Mutty?
And there should be rules about how the scene is to be treated
Well, I was just about
until
to
they
say
get
that.
there.
They must not
And
disturb,
those rules should be rigorously observed
and the investigators
with
must,
consequences if they are not.
right, and the
Yes.
investigators must be assured that there has been no interference, that the crime scene remain the same.
Yes.
Or picture, if the man is wounded, that somehow, if you have to take him to the hospital, that necessary, markings be put as to where he was shot.
Yes.
You know, because you can take a piece of chalk and go right around the person before you move him.
Yes.
Because what the police usually say is the man is injured, so you have to take him to the police station.
Yes.
But at least put some markings as to where you picked him up from.
And photographs.
And photographs.
Yes.
You know, before, admittedly, it might be an emergency, Mutty. So you do the necessary preliminaries before you move, and in the event that you have to disturb the crime scene.
Yes.
But you know, Mutty, the truth of it is that the Labour Party's position is that not only are we going to provide the resources, but we intend to give legislative authority to some of the things I have just been saying.
Yes.
That the PPCA has to be that independent body that can bring some transparency and some confidence to the public to say that these investigations are properly conducted.
Yes.
And that is something that we intend to do within months after assuming office, Mutty. Because we have to restore justice in Jamaica. Now, I don't know if
Mark, you know, Mr. Chuck, it seems that even where there is strong evidence, there is some kind of a reluctance to convict police.
Well, you know, Mutty, one of the problems we have is that you know, the police is oftentimes in charge of everything. So, you know, with the case of Janice Allen, the document was mysteriously lost, the station diary. And you're seeing the same now, where Vanda Palmer's wife was reporting the matter in Mandeville. Copies of the statement were obtained by Nationwide.
Yes.
And the police officer who witnessed the statement, his number and name is on the statement. Yet you can't find anything in the station diary that a report was made. No, Mutty, this
I wonder if they had a file.
This is justice being corrupted.
Yes.
And it seemed to me that at the very minimum, Superintendent Michael James, who is in charge of the Manchester Police, must investigate whether or not a report was made firstly, whether it was recorded, and if it was recorded, what has happened to that report, that entry.
Yes.
And you know, Mutty, what is very sad? Over the last 21 days, I think it ends today, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of National Security, the pastors, and the Northern Caribbean University have been engaged in a thing known as restorative justice.
Yes.
I think, you know, Mutty, I'm not going to undermine what restorative justice is. It is about forgiveness and so on. But what we need in Jamaica more than restorative justice is restoring justice.
Yes.
You know, in other words, there's no doubt in my mind that the people right across Jamaica are seeking justice. That is restoring justice.
And not getting it.
And not getting it. And now you see, you're now going a step forward and say, you must forgive, you must heal, and, you know, you must, after grieving, you must, you know, make up and so on. That is all well and good in the morning.
You know, Mr. Chuck, I can't forget. I can't get out of my mind that little girl who saw her mother shot and killed
at Crawl. Yes.
Right? And I have been hoping that she has some relative who lives abroad who will take her abroad, right? And try to wipe the name of Jamaica out of her mind. Because otherwise, I don't know what is going to happen to that.
And you recall, Mutty? You recall she came here and her evidence was given in court?
Yes.
And does Jamaica recall that one of the primary witnesses in that case was missing when he was called?
Yes.
And within a matter of days, not weeks, the following week, he just mysteriously turned up.
But not only that,
to respond to
not only that,
at halfway tree.
The allegation was that he had supplied a gun.
Yes.
Right? Police witnesses gave that evidence.
And not only that, Mutty, there was...
Or at any rate, the gun had been supplied from his premises.
Yes.
Right? And, may I ask you to hold for a moment? Okay, thank you very much. Back here.
You were talking about that case at Crawl.
Oh yes, and I was saying that that the gentleman who was to have given evidence.
Yes.
The gun was supposed to have come from his place.
From Eastern Kingston.
According to what the police said.
Right.
And he was given a conditional immunity from prosecution on the basis that he would testify for the Crown.
Absolutely.
He didn't testify, but he still apparently preserved his
immunity.
His immunity was transformed from a conditional immunity into a non-conditional immunity, apparently.
An absolute immunity. And you know what is interesting, Mutty? Do you recall in that case we even had evidence from the cable companies that the telephone conversation took place from Eastern Kingston to places in Clarendon?
Yes.
You know, I mean, boy, you know, one of the things we asked for in the Mutty, and up to this day it has not been done, is for the transcript of that case. And to the best of my knowledge, it is not yet available. Or no one has said that the transcript is available. And I know Mike Henry was asking, Mike Henry and Pernell Charles, that the transcript should be available because the family of those persons should really sue the state. You recall, Mutty, that in that case, that the government found 18 million for the lawyers?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And to the best of my
knowledge... Was it 18 or 19?
I recall 18. 18 million.
Oh, well.
You know, and so 18 million is chicken feed.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, 31 million is chicken feed. So when you're calling about 30 million to fix the road up in Happy Grove.
Yes.
I mean, 30 million is chicken feed.
I was thinking of the same thing.
So they should really find the money and fix the road for the people up in Happy Grove. And you know, Mutty, I heard your Andrew Gallimore, and you notice when Richard Azan came up to Happy Grove, it was the PNP candidate who came along with him. The Member of Parliament, the elected Member of Parliament, nor the elected councillors were invited. And I see the same again, Mutty, in Standpipe. Richard Azan went there to look at the gully. And by the way, Mutty, I walked Standpipe about a couple of weeks ago because I kept wondering why is it the gullies in my area of Northeast St. Andrew kept filling up just below Barbican Road. And we clean it. And I walk up Standpipe only to see what is really a horrendous sight. I mean, the garbage that people throw in the gully, Mutty, is unbelievable. So I said to them, I must talk to National Works Agency and Mr. Bartlett about this, because this should not continue. And do you know, Mutty, that the council for the area and Mr. Bartlett told me that it was clean in Christmas?
It was clean at Christmas?
At Christmas.
Oh. And
within less than 2 months, it looked as if Riverton City dump had been put in it.
Well, I tell you something, Mr. Chuck. I'm going to suggest to you that you bring it to the attention of the Christians.
All the gullies.
Oh, well.
All the gullies.
Well, such as you would.
The gullies are worse than the city of Kingston.
Yes.
And I say, Mutty, that what worries me, Mutty, is how, you know, even the cleaning of gullies, the fixing of roads are being politicized. We just not recent.
Well, are you suggesting that?
No, I'm not talking about the Christians.
You're not talking about the
Richard
Christians.
Azan visiting these areas. And you know, they have this thing, restorative justice, that they have just done.
But hold on, before you leave
the
Christians and the cleaning.
Yes.
Is there any connection between what is happening here? I can't remember the Christians volunteering to do anything like this in the past. Is there a connection between this and the fact that Sister P was sent by God?
Well, you know,
and that Christians are therefore obliged to support her?
I must tell you, there's a gentleman who wrote me an email who said that, you know, he's very worthy, he's a Labourite, that Sister P has successfully embraced, you know, the Christians, by suggesting that she has been appointed by God.
Yes.
And the Christians are going to give her a lot of support, because once you're God's anointed, Christians will support you.
Uh-huh.
Right? And
once you say you're God's
once
anointed.
you say that you're God's anointed, then the Christians will support you. I suspect, though, Mutty, that across Jamaica you have well-thinking Christians who will exercise sound judgment and recognize that it's not whatever you say or whoever suggests that you are a prophet or you have been appointed by a prophet or a prophet predict, that they can make good judgment over the, whenever the election is called.
I don't know, sir.
No, but that's a matter for the Jamaican people, Mutty. They must decide whether they want to continue with Sister P and regularly the Christians can get together and clean up Kingston, then
clean up the gullies.
And clean up the gullies. Because let's face it has been like this, Mutty, for years.
Yes.
And I'm not denying that the Christians can do a wonderful job, and they say that they want to clean up Kingston and they want to do it for, the Cricket World Cup, which I think would be a great objective. I have no problem with that.
But I think it's a damn disgrace, Mr.
Of course
Trump,
it is, Mutty.
that the cleaning up of Kingston.
Yes.
First of all, that, it isn't cleaned up because it is good for the people of Kingston for it to be cleaned up. It's cleaned up because some visitors are coming here from
Mutty?
various parts of the world.
And the worst part of it, Mutty.
Right?
On Tuesday, I submitted, when Sister P announced the program last year, September.
Oh, this was the NIS money?
The 635 million clean-up program.
It was coming out of the NIS money?
But, I don't know.
No.
Petrocaribe.
From Petrocaribe.
And to this day, Mutty, we don't know if that money is available. On Tuesday, I saw some persons in Parliament bringing in what programs have been approved. Now, Mutty, soon after she announced it, sometime last year, MPs, councillors and people were requested to put in programs of cleanup. Believe me, Mutty, I put in about 20. And I don't think one has been approved. Right? I see one or two programs in my area that have been approved, but it's other persons who put them in. So I don't know if the programs of work that have, once again, Mutty, and I said it in Parliament to the people, obviously this is the usual political decision making as to which programs will be approved. So that, the genetically connected can get the work.
Well, it does look as if the Petrocaribe money is not available. Or the Christians wouldn't have to be volunteering to do this.
And not only that, Mutty. If it was not available in September last year,
yes,
how can you trust someone to make that announcement when it was not available?
Well, maybe the exploration was done afterwards.
So you make an announcement. Remember, when Sister P
go to see whether
you can get it.
Yes.
But remember, Mutty, when it was announced, it was the main thrust of her speech.
Yes.
That you're going to clean up and provide work for the communities across Jamaica. And 5-6 months later, you don't know if the money is available.
$2,000 a week.
Huh?
$2,000 a week.
Exactly. And up to this day, Mutty, you don't know if the money was available. How do you trust persons who make these announcements, Mutty?
Be careful how you say these things all the same,
Then it's a class bias.
Chuck, you might be, I don't know if Lasme is listening to this program. Right.
Mutty, I hear repeatedly when JLP persons are called and to be interviewed. This morning I heard Dr. Ken Ball. And the usual questions, well, what would the JLP do? And Mutty, right across every sector of the government, the problem is resources.
Yes.
Whether it is education, they have this $250 billion education transformation. They found $5 billion out of the National Housing Trust. I don't know if they've found any more money since, Mutty. The hospitals right across Jamaica is falling flat on their faces. And Mutty, what is the position? No money to equip them. Fine?
Yes.
The roads, as you hear right across Jamaica with the various demonstrations,
Yes.
need immediate attention in my communities. The people, they send me emails, they call me, they say to me, what can you do where our cars are being damaged? And I said, I wish I could fix it. I wish I could tell you that KCC, our National Works Agency, have the money. They just don't have the money, Mutty. And you see this right across Jamaica, where the real problem is that our economy, Mutty, is now all it does is to pay debt. And that is why our debt now, Mutty, is close to $1 trillion Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
And I say, as Dr. Bohr was saying this morning, unless we have economic expansion and development,
Yes.
every other sector will be in trouble.
Absolutely.
Right? And I say,
The primary focus, Mr. Chuck,
yes.
has got to be on economic expansion.
But Mutty, you have the commentators, especially those driven by spiritual upliftment, which I support, who feel that we must sideline economic development and economic expansion. It is more important for you to love, to be educated, to be corporate, without putting economic consideration as a top priority.
Yes.
And I'm saying we're going about it in the wrong way.
Yes. We have to generate the resources.
Unless we do so, Mutty,
And,
everything else will fall apart.
Yes. And not only that, the failure to expand the economy and to expand opportunity
Quite.
is part of what is driving crime.
The crime, I said, Mutty, when you go across Jamaica, Mutty, and you talk to young people, the fundamental question they ask repeatedly, how can we get a job?
Yes.
And when you say unemployment is at 11 or 15%, you're joking.
They're rubbish, absolute
You're
rubbish.
joking.
Hold on just a moment, Mr. Chuck. Jules, thank you very much. We're back here.
But I must give your other callers a chance.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to come off now so your other callers can get a chance. I just want to ask, and every time I come on your program, I'm going to ask this question, Mutty, until it is done. When is the traffic guru money going to be returned? The last thing we heard of it was
ask the PNP, sir.
was Paul Burke. You recall Paul Burke saying
Yes.
that they're going to have fundraising efforts
Yes.
and donations to return this $31 million.
Which is telling us that they spent the money.
And there's no doubt, Mutty. They spent it at the conference last time.
Yes.
And it seems to me that if the word of the Prime Minister is to be trusted, then the money must be returned. All the best to you, Mutty.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.